It is Rocky Mountain RepRap Fest 2024. Day one is here. The doors just opened. People are flowing in, and it is time to start talking with some awesome companies and makers. This show is over double the size that it was last year. So let's just dive right into it. There's a lot to see. Come on. Come on. We are here at the Vision Miner booth, and I know a lot of you have been yelling at me to use this stuff on our PO Poly Magneto X, and I now have a bottle of it. So we're gonna see, is this nanopolymer adhesive as good as all of you say? Because the amount of comments that I've had to try this sticky stuff is pretty amazing. Talk to me about what's going on. Tell the folks at home who you are and what you guys do at Vision Miner.
So I'm Rob from Vision Miner. We specialize in PEEK and Ultim in industrial 3D printing for aerospace, medical, oil and gas, heavy industry type applications. And this stuff we actually made for PEEK and Ultim because we were having such a hard time getting those materials to stick in the super high temperature chambers and 200 Celsius beds that we were scraping glue and everything. And then
it's terrible.
Yeah, Patrick, the CEO, came in one day, saw me covered in glue dust, and said, screw this, I'm gonna go find the best adhesive scientists on the planet. We're gonna make the best build plate adhesive glue you've ever seen. I'm like, I hope so, man. 3 weeks later, we had a working formula, but it was breaking glass every time. So for 9 months, we just refined each little component of it.
It's about chasing zero sometimes, it really is.
The ratios are so exact and precise, it's wild. And so we made it, and it worked, and we got it just consistent. And then one day he was like, hey, just throw it on the Ultimaker. And I'm like, why? And he was like, just try it. And I'm like, okay. So I was printing these PETG light shrouds, and I had about 50 to print. And so I printed one, it worked. And then I heard something in the background, and it was like a ping. And I went over to the part, and it had released itself from the glass plate.
PETG releasing from glass, that is not normally something that occurs, to be clear.
Uh-huh. So we tried it with PLA, we tried it with other materials. It worked on just about everything. Yeah. But the key thing was I printed 45 of these light shrouds on a single coating without reapplying. So people are like, it's expensive. I'm like, yeah, but it lasts 10 times longer than anything else. And then, from there, we were like, try it on ABS, try it on ASA, try it on polycarbonate, nylon, and it's just worked for literally just about everything. Polypropylene only sticks to itself, doesn't work great there.
Yeah, it's polypropylene.
But just about literally everything. And so it was kind of like one of those post-it note discoveries where we're like, okay, we have something very cool here. We should probably provide this.
Yeah.
And so that's the birth and the story. Now here, 5-6 years later, it's still one of the best.
So polypropylene doesn't stick to a damn thing. And it's not the best on this, I'm told.
Yeah.
But this is pretty cool stuff because it does last a while. We had a fan say they bought one of the big bottles. It's a 120, right?
Yep.
And they said they've had the same bottle for 6 years.
Yeah, I believe it.
And I don't, have you guys been around for 6 years?
We've been around since 2017, so almost 7 years, yeah.
Okay, so they theoretically have had that same bottle for that long. I'm like, that seems like a really long time. But it lasts a while.
And that's the thing, like on the consumer materials, it lasts super, super long time. When you're printing PEEK and Ultim, those are $400 in raw material per part.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
so you reapply.
If you use one of these bottles for every print of PEEK, PEC, Ultim, whatever it is, you don't care because your profit margins are such that this is a rounding error. Or it better be a rounding error, or you need to go watch our podcast all about pricing your product because, good Lord, you're undercharging.
Amen.
And somebody is taking advantage of you, and they know it. Yeah, aerospace is PEEK, PEC, and Ultim. You all have likely had experience with Ultim and don't know it.
Yep. Because
it is polyether imide, otherwise known as PEI, the things that are on your flex plates. You know that stuff's pretty resilient. It sucks to print with. It's abysmally terrible.
Yeah, but it's very difficult.
You guys said we've got an industry where we want to print high temp stuff, but there's not a lot of great high temp printers on the market that are not $250,000.
That's right.
Stratasys. So you said, same way, screw it, we're gonna make it ourselves.
That's right.
So what's right here?
So this is our 22ADX V2, and this machine was the product of a wonderful collaboration, and it is basically everything we wanted in a high-temp machine. We used probably 15 different high-temp machines over the years, and each one had its own advantages and disadvantages and build quality and qualities, and this one really just took a lot of the things, like you'll notice the bed dancing, like
Yeah, it was a little bit of
KC and the Sunshine
dual
Band.
dance, making a little love and get down at night.
So on, so on one hand, that's non-planar eventually as the slicers and tools come available for that. That'll be a thing. But mostly originally, that's for not having to reach into a 100 Celsius chamber that's super hot and adjust these little knobs to level your build plate. It does it fully mechanically, automatically on top
full
of
tramming.
mesh leveling.
Yeah.
So it does the whole thing. It makes it much more automated, much easier just to operate, and you don't burn yourself when you're reaching into machines, and that was something huge we wanted. On top of that being IDEX, so it's independent dual extruder. The primary thing with that, yes, you can do support material.
Soluble support, yeah.
Multiple colors, but as you and I know, that's often still very difficult. It has its own issues. It takes a lot longer. What we're doing here is we're serving businesses in industry, and what do they want? They want throughput. When you use duplication or mirror mode on this machine, you're literally getting twice the output. It's like buying two machines if the parts fit in the volume.
Right.
So that's a huge one. We do a lot of jobs for people, and we just crank it out. It's like having two machines at once.
You guys have asked for it, and it is coming. We are going to be testing Vision Miner's nanopolymer adhesive on the channel. I actually have a bit of a background in this kind of, not specifically this, but cyanoacrylite. I have a thing for the sticky stuff. You all know we like 3D gloop around here, but gloop is not really for print beds. You can do it, but you probably shouldn't. This stuff, though, this is for print beds.
Specifically, and it activates at temperature, so it creates a molecular bond above 50 or 60 C with the actual carbon molecules in the polymer and the build surface. Works on almost every build surface. Some people rave about aluminum. I have mixed results on aluminum. Spring steel, PEI, build tack, glass, carbon fiber, FR4, Garolite. It works on just about
FR4 and Garolite.
everything.
Old Zortrax days.
Yeah.
Old Zortrax days.
Still great for nylon.
That's true. Guys, check out Vision Miner. Links will be in that description down below. This machine is awesome. We're hoping to get one to take a look at it on the channel so you guys can see it, because we don't talk a ton about the high temp materials that we do, because traditionally speaking, if you're playing in the high temp world, you can't talk about it. You can say that you do it, but you can't talk about what you're doing, who you're doing it for, and why. NDAs mean all the fun stuff we can't talk about. Sorry. But check out Vision Miner. Links will be down below. On to the next one.
And this is our extruder series. We have Orbiter 2, Orbiter 3, and the new Orbiter 3 with river hot end. It's different version. Yeah. We also have a bunch of the tool head production electronics for the 3D print solutions. It's all USB solutions. This is Nighthawk 36 new production coming soon in next month. And it's a Nighthawk SB. It's for the steel burner. It's already in a Voron steel burner extruder. And this is the Orbiter 2 tool head board.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. And this is the E3D Loto
Yeah.
USB tool head board. Yeah. And this is Urina Pico Bilico.
Yep.
And also this is LED chip.
Nice little LEDs.
Yeah, for the ERCF.
Yep.
ERCF2 coming soon. This is a fixture. We just show our electronics to our hardwares, and you can see it's moving pretty fast. We use our motors, linear wheels, everything LDOs. So it's a fixture. Yeah, it's good. It's
Great way to kind of show what
it's moving. Yeah. It shows the movie. So it's interesting. It's just one belt. It's like Positron. You see, it's a tight.
Yeah.
Tight a little bit, and then you can just use one belt.
That's so cool.
So just a compact fixture to show what we have. And this is a Leviathan board, our new board for the Voron.
Nice.
Yeah, Voron printer. Yeah.
That thing is fast.
Yeah, it's pretty fast. Yeah.
Now it's
Positron.
Positron.
Finally, Positron. Yeah. We plan to, after 2 years development and the polishing, we finally have our production ready next month, ship around the end of month.
Well,
And we start to pre-order beginning of May with all our major resellers.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
I think that's
Anthony is here, a nomad from the Positron project.
Yeah,
So
we can talk a little bit more about the Positron, if maybe later. Yeah,
I think he can
yeah,
do
this
that.
one is another one we are working on. That's locker.
a Rook.
Yeah, Rock MK1. It's another open source project.
Yep.
We were. It's a still core XY, but easy build, economic, and we try to put it to the marketing.
Yep.
Maybe June. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have the heat set. Insert
No,
presses.
it's a Victor 3D's production, but we OEM for him.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
we provide some parts to him, and he put his stuff to our booth to show out. Yeah.
That's awesome. LDO works with
Yeah.
a lot of OEM
Sure.
brands, and you guys
Yeah.
do a lot of the production. For
Yeah,
them, so
most
that is super
important,
awesome.
we try to stick with the community, help community,
Yep.
and do our job. Yeah.
It's all about the community around here.
Yeah,
It's all about the community.
sure.
We're gonna
No,
have
no, man.
we're gonna have Nomad come and talk
Yeah.
all about
Positive.
this brand new Positron, which
Yeah.
they've been printing upside down, and it's kind of weird. So
Yeah.
let's talk with Nomad.
Sure. Come on.
We are here, Nomad and the Positron project. Your eyes are not deceiving you. You might have had too much to drink. I don't know what to tell you. You might be from Australia, and this might look proper. This is the Positron. It prints upside down because regular printing was just too easy. Nomad, talk to us about the Positron project.
So the Positron project is a continuation of Kralen's work.
Mhm.
Kralen designed the original V3.
That uses those ridiculously cool
Yes.
synchro mesh belts that are apparently a monumental pain in the keister,
Yeah.
but they're super freaking cool.
But if they ever snapped or broke, you'd be fixing this for hours, and it was not great.
I thought I'd love fixing printers for hours.
Right? We used what we had in the university to design the original V3, and while for a very small batch of printers it was good, in all reality, it was not good for mass production.
Right.
Because we could tune it and that'll be fine for that printer, but then for the person who doesn't know, it's just terrible. So we worked very closely with LDO to design the version 3.2, which is what we have here.
And
So-
it fits in the Pelican case.
Yes, it fits in the Pelican case as well as a filament box.
Yeah, that's the trick. You can actually fold it and fit it inside of a regular filament box, which is kind of weird, but also kind of cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was the idea. We wanted a printer that was portable.
Yes.
So many people come up and ask us, why upside down? And the answer is not why upside down, it's, well, because that's the result of what we wanted.
Well, I mean, if all you do is just flip it over,
Yeah.
right? Somebody somewhere is going to make a mod for it that has a base plate here so you can
Oh,
flip it over.
you won't have to because I already have something new for you that
course
you don't
do.
know about.
Of course you
But
do.
we'll get to that in a moment.
Oh,
So what's great about this is we have all the kinematics and motors in the base of the printer.
Yep.
So that this Z-axis, once you remove the bed and the Y arm, can fold down into the filament box configuration.
Nice.
And so because all the kinematics are in the base, that is why it's upside down.
Right.
And so we're still trying to kind of understand what that also means for things like support materials, for things
Bridging.
like bridging,
Yeah.
and how all this is changing. We're still understanding. It's going to take us a while to really grasp, and I bet someone's going to make a paper on how the different physics of printing upside down can change the quality of the print. One of the notable things that we've done is we've moved from synchromesh to a belt system.
Regular, everyday belts. They're a little thinner than normal.
Much thinner. They went on Weight Watchers and became 3 millimeters. We went with 3 millimeter belts because we realized the original reason we went synchromesh is because that's what we had available to us at the university. But we didn't have 3 millimeter belts available to us. We tried it with larger belts, and the change in the plane when it goes from this lower level to the upper level caused the belt to just come loose.
Yeah.
And that wasn't good. So we strayed away from belts for that reason. But LDO was able to make these 3 millimeter belts that allow that to happen without any problems whatsoever. And it just works.
That's so cool.
We've made a few changes since the version 3. And
at least 2.
Yeah, so what you're seeing here is actually an older version of our 3.2 beta.
Okay.
We have since changed with this unit down here, which I will pick up. So we have changed the Z tensioner as well as the extruder.
I'm very stressed right now.
But that's
that
the cool
one's
part.
trick though. That is beautiful.
It is beautiful.
I do like the red and the black aesthetic.
What we've changed here, I'll point this out for you, we've changed that the tensioner is now an actual stopper. So there's a spring inside the Z-axis which tensions the whole thing.
Yeah, it doesn't stick out very far.
No. But
That's cool.
so now instead of a cantilever tensioner, the spring will tension it, and then you put a little stopper right there to keep it nice and tensioned for the whole print.
Nice.
And we upgraded this to an orbiter extruder, so you have more torque on the filament itself. One of the cool things that we're doing here is the Raspberry Pi is stored inside of this screen here. So the CM4 is in here, connected to the main board by just a USB-C connection.
It's off. Is that okay?
It's actually going to sleep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm noticing something though. It's right side up.
Yeah.
I think your screen's supposed to be like this.
No.
No? Well, the whole printer's like that.
Yeah. That one was American made.
Oh, not the Australian made ones. Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay, got it. And I'm told you've got one more thing.
So we, in the latest version, and what the revision that we're going to be giving to people when they buy it, is the feet are no longer going to be stuck on, but with little stickers, but screwed on. And now we have a very specific reason for doing this, not just because the feet are going to be higher quality, but so you can mount the printer in ways that you ever want it to be, such as underneath the table.
So you guys are really going after the unique mounting solutions, right?
Yeah.
To allow people to decide if they want to print the positron the correct way versus upside down.
We want the positron to be your positron. So we
Yes.
want it to be customizable.
There
That's
are many
why.
like it, but this one is mine kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks.
No,
Hey, it's been great watching you guys take
No, so that's why we have a USB cable port on the side, so you can add on to this with whatever add-ons you want, be it a nozzle camera, an extra fan, a USB drive just for storage.
Say air gap.
I mean, we have an Ethernet port there as well, so
Air gap.
yeah, you can air gap this however you want. You don't have to connect this to Wi-Fi.
Yep.
It can do that. If you're traveling with this and you want it to be a personal hotspot, so you just connected this and this alone, you're going to be able to do that too. We want people to be able to customize this however we want.
I love that.
One thing that we know, the IR probe that we have for the bed, it's not the best in the world. It's not the most accurate. We
Getting
understand.
there. It's.
But what we're going to
multi-step
do,
process.
what we're going to try to do, is put headers on the CAN bus here so that you can hook up whatever probe you want. So people can design, say, micro probe or clicky switch.
Nice.
So people can improve it however they see fit and just build upon this as a platform, not just for what it is. Like, we have headers on the board for a runout sensor.
Nice.
We don't have one built in because of how constrained we are with
You
the
should see what
extruder.
E3D's doing with that.
Oh, I can't wait.
Guys, I'd love to know. You want to see an upside down printer on the stream? Do you want us to build a positron? Do you want to see what kind of weird jokes that I can make while building this that's going to offend the entirety of our Australian viewers? Because I think it'd be a lot of fun, and I have a feeling the Aussies would be totally okay with it. In fact, most of them would probably underwrite those jokes anyways. But seriously, if you do want to see us build a positron, let us know in those comments below. Check out the Positron project linked down below as well, because there's going to be some cool stuff coming out from them as they continue to iterate on this. They've got a product that's almost there. All they have to do is flip it right side up. That is all we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all the awesome people that made this kind of a trip possible. And thank you to Rocky Mountain Rep for sending us out here as well. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to call your loved ones. And as always, print right side. I mean, keep making awesome. Have a good one. Please.
Right.
Please. The fans, like the only fans, are getting mad over here, man. It's rough. Friggin'. What? Exactly. What?
What?
Do we have to do it out of phase?
I don't know. I just started doing it. I don't know why.